Semen retention is the ultimate marshmallow test. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the marshmallow test, I'm going to explain it in this video, and I'm going to share with you why the marshmallow test is the indicator for future success and how you can use it to make sure that you live a successful life. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Nikula Das, and I help men master their S3X energy, transmute that energy to 10 times your masculine leadership power, 10 times your influence. What happens when you 10 times your influence and impact? Well, you 10 times your income, you 10 times your social status, you 10 times your attraction, and ultimately, you 10 times your abilities and gifts, which allow you to be of greater service in this world, which is what the world needs. More men who are living a life of service. Go to the links in the description below. Take advantage of the sex transmutation guide. Take advantage of the free links. And if you're ready to transform your life, you already know I'm ready for change. I'm ready to take it up. I want to 10 times all aspects of my life. Then make sure you book a call with me. Let's connect. All right, what's the marshmallow test? So the marshmallow test, this was actually shared within one of our men's support groups. And it's a cool test where they give kids marshmallows. And they've done this with other things, I think Smarties and different candies and such. So they've given kids marshmallows and they leave it on the table. The kid sits right in front of the table, just them, a table and a marshmallow. And they tell the kid, here's a marshmallow. You can eat it right away if you'd like. But if you wait 5 minutes and you don't eat it, we'll give you another marshmallow. And so they put the marshmallow in front of the kid and they leave the room and there's just a camera on them. And it's hilarious. You can just look this up online, the marshmallow test, and you can watch the videos. It's really funny to watch these kids struggle not to eat the marshmallow. They're like, oh man, I don't want to eat it. Or like they want to eat it, but they're like, oh, maybe I'll get a second one. You can see them battling themselves. What's really interesting is I've seen this test done in many other ways, and it's actually used as an indicator of how successful someone can be. Because here's the deal. When we delay gratification, we get more. So some of the kids, they were able to hold out for the 5 minutes, and then they got a second marshmallow. So they got 2 times the marshmallows. Why? Because they delayed their gratification. Now, there were some kids, they couldn't wait the whole 5 minutes, and they're like, and ate the marshmallow. There was one kid, she didn't even wait till the instructor left the room. The instructor was still giving her instructions, and she just picked it up and start eating the marshmallow. She's going to need some work. I hope somebody's working with her. Here's why it's an indicator of success. For those of us who can delay gratification, for those of us who are willing to put in the boring work, we eventually get more. The society today largely rewards new in our culture. You got a new car. You got new clothes. You got something new. Oh, amazing. Very few people go, wow, you've been driving that car for 14 years? Good for you for actually using that to its max. Good for you for getting the most of it. You have been doing the same workout routine for years. That's why you're ripped. You see, most people value new and they don't value sustainable. They don't value longevity. Bruce Lee said, I'm not scared of the man who knows 1,000 kicks. I'm scared of the man who knows one kick but practiced it 1,000 times. What he's saying is that excellence comes from doing the boring work, the repetition, day in, out, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. Most people don't want to do that. You know what it takes to grow a 6-figure and 7-figure business? Doing the same thing over and over and over again. What most entrepreneurs do is then they want to add, I did this for years. Okay, I'm going to do this now this, and now this, now this. What if you just did the same thing for 10 years and became so excellent, so undeniably good at it, that people were literally willing to pay you millions for it. Think about a top athlete. Think about someone like David Beckham, who was just so undeniably good at taking free kicks that he became one of the highest soccer players during his time. Arguably, he wasn't that very good at anything else, but he used to spend hours every day just taking free kicks. That it became so valuable to the team and to the club that he became one of the highest players. What if you put in the next 5 to 10 years and you delayed your gratification? Nobody is going to recognize you for doing the boring shit. That's the truth. That's why we don't like it. Nobody's patting me on the back. Nobody pats you on the back for the first 3 to 4 years when you're at the gym, just putting it in. Nobody pats you on the back for eating well, for eating healthy. Nobody pats you on the back for meditating every day. Until one day, that turns around and all of a sudden, everybody's patting you on the back. Everybody wants to be like you. Everybody's aspiring and looking at you because you've attained something that very few can attain because of the marshmallow test, because of your ability to delay gratification. Mark Zuckerberg said, if you want to be seen, you have to disappear for a while. I'm not an IT guy, but I can only imagine the amount of hours he probably spent doing this to create Facebook and what he's created. Think about all the unseen hours, all the unseen work, all the unseen habits that are developed by the greats, whether it's political greats or business greats or even just to have a great family. Like, we shouldn't diminish that as not huge. In today's world, if you have a great family and an amazing family life, if you're an amazing lover, it's because you put in the time. You've made yourself so good at something that people are literally willing to pay you thousands, sometimes millions of dollars for it. People will literally travel over the world to come see you. That's value. That only happens when you delay gratification. Now, semen retention is the ultimate delay of gratification. Because our very biology is pushing us towards ejaculation for the propagation of humanity, a man who can literally resist that is resisting his biology. He is starting to move in his consciousness above his very biology. Most men are simply controlled by their biology. That's why they're only interested in really 4 things. If you look at most people through these lenses, you'll see that this is all they're interested in: eating, sleeping, having sex, and defending. Defending means they're working a job, so they're doing the bare minimum so that they can get paid and have a house. Defending also means they're gossiping. Defending, we can actually, another word other than defending is comfort. They do the bare minimum, then it's time for video games, then it's time for, sleeping, then it's time for just vegging out. Look at people's aspirations. They'll reveal themselves when they talk. I can't wait for vacation. I can't wait for the weekend. And that's because most people hate what they do. So they have to can't wait for the weekend to just stop doing it. That's because all their motivation is coming from their body. And the body, when all your motivation is only coming from instinctual survival, all you get is an animal life. So you get the bare minimum. Notice animals don't have wealth. Why? Because they don't think about that. The body doesn't think about that. You have to be above the body to start to accumulate what you can accumulate, you being a human being, you being spirit soul. So if you want wealth, if you want higher attraction, if you want some social status, if you want to be a leader, to lead your congregation or to lead your country or your city or your neighborhood in a whole new way, you can't just be driven by the animal instincts of life. And the human form of life is designed for us to rise above these instincts. Semen retention is the ultimate process of delaying gratification because you're literally denying. It's an austerity, willing. It's not like suppression. Suppression is different. Most people are sexually suppressed. That's why they're watching porn. That's why they're jerking off. Because they're repressing that energy and they don't know what to do with it till it's pent off, and then they can't delay that gratification anymore. And next thing you know, it's leading them to negative habits. Most negative habits are actually underlining it sexual repression. Because sexuality at the physical level is the highest pleasure. Everything else is kind of like a sexual pleasure or a lust pleasure. But if we were getting that in our natural way through sex, you wouldn't be so into that. Now there's a double-edged sword to that. That's why you just got to come work with me in the sexual alchemy program, or at least we got to have a conversation, because you have to really understand how sex is actually driving you to most of your activities. When you delay ejaculation, when you practice semen retention and you regulate your sexual activity, especially the ejaculation part of it. So for me, I don't regulate my sexual activity from the sense of, I don't say I only have sex every so often. I got a great sex life. I'm very grateful for that. But I delay my gratification from ejaculation. In fact, ejaculation isn't even that gratifying anymore as it used to be. It's interesting how over time it begins to shift, because what's more gratifying is having that energy within me, that orgasmic energy flowing through my body, my sixth sense wide open. That is a pleasure that physical pleasure cannot even touch. So you can get to these amazing points of realization, but it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a desire to wanting to know higher aspects of life. When you practice semen retention, you're practicing the ultimate marshmallow test. Can you control your basic biology? Well, someone who can control their basic biology can then start to control their thoughts at a higher level. When you can control your thoughts, you can control your words. When you can control your words, you're controlling your vibration. When you control your vibration, you're literally controlling your destiny or what you're going to attract. Eventually, you can become such a high-level mystic or yogi or practitioner. You can literally control what, how, and when you leave this planet. The highest level yogis can control when they die, how they die. That's all available for you. But to do it, you have to reject modern culture and modern ways of thinking. You have to deny the mass consciousness, which is stuck in animal thinking. That's why they're easily controlled and swayed. That's why the governments of these days can just tax people whatever they want and tell you to inject yourself, and they just do it, and people are okay, oh, yes, okay, because it's no different than an animal, right? I could herd sheep. You want to be a sheep? I'll herd you, right? As you start to rise in consciousness through this practice of sex transmutation, you're going to recognize how much you're actually being enslaved by the modern world, and you're going to start to reject it. And not only that, you're going to become powerful, where you're going to have your own people following you, connecting with you. And when you're doing it in a conscious way, you become a force for good in this planet. You become a leader for yourself, your family. You can give up the negative habits. You can instill the positive habits, or the habits that are going to get you to where you want to go. So if you're ready to take on the ultimate marshmallow test and unleash your masculine power in this world, make sure you start with the free resources in the links in the description. Reach out to me directly. I'd love to set up a call, meet with you, and connect over Zoom. And we can see if it's a right fit and you're in the right time of life to take on this type of level of work. I'll see you on the next video.